What if I told you that the next thing, the next hustle that you attempt has a possibility of you not succeeding or you actually failing at it 1,000 times? Would you do it? Would you start a new hustle? Welcome back to another episode of Winning at Life Behind Enemy Lines. We've been away for a minute, but we're back. And today's episode is concentrating on the top 10 reasons why every man needs a worthwhile hustle. Welcome back, y'all. Like I said, we've been away for a while, but we're back. We've been busy getting our hustle on. But today's show is geared toward men specifically who are looking to improve their life, who are looking to locate their purpose, to find their purpose and walk in their purpose and do it through a worthwhile hustle. I'm your host, hashtag one time, and today is a show that talks about hustling. But we're talking about a worthwhile hustle today. And we're talking about the top 10 reasons why every man needs a worthwhile hustle. And I know what you're saying. I've tried everything. You may have tried a lot of things, odd jobs, side jobs, all of that. And you can't seem to get a grip. Today's show is for you. And if you're in a position right now to where you're wondering, what's next for me? What's my next step? What do I do? How do I level up my game? How do I level up my hustle? Then this episode, we're going to talk about in the top 10 reasons how every man, woman as well, but in particularly today, why every man needs a worthwhile hustle. We're not talking about just your average 9 to 5. We're talking about a worthwhile and honest and impactful hustle is what we're talking about. So let's get into it. If I had to say, I have tried to be a hustler all my life, a worthwhile, wholesome hustler. The last hustle I started was this podcast. And let me tell you, it was difficult. I knew nothing about YouTube. I didn't know how to make a thumbnail. I didn't know anything about how to hustle. But I learned. I learned along the way. I've learned so much since January of 2025 when I hosted my very first show. But that was my hustle. And oftentimes I think about people who are successful now, who has a side hustle, who have a side hustle of something that brings in residual income, something that they enjoy doing, something that is provoking them and helping them walk in their purpose. I think about a hairdresser, the very first client she had. I think about a t-shirt maker. I think about all these people who start and how they had to start over and over and over. And the first time it didn't work, and the second time it didn't work, and maybe the third time it didn't work, but they kept on going. So let's get into it. Reason number one, I believe, every man needs a worthwhile hustle. A hustle keeps you focused and concentrated. It gives you purpose. It gives you vision. And if you don't have vision today, if you're wondering right now with the state of tariffs, the economy, and what's next, and if you're going to have a job, if your company is going to outlast the tariffs, all these things that are going on, if you're wondering about that, then that's cause and reason for you to start a hustle. But a good hustle keeps you concentrated on your purpose. It keeps you from distractions. It challenges you and it pulls you into what your purpose is in life. I'm talking about a worthwhile hustle, though, y'all. Having a hustle is a solid, even if this is a solid side project, starting a business, it helps you to concentrate on where you want to be financially, where you want to be as it pertains to walking in your purpose, and it helps you to avoid all the distractions and all the noise. My nephew and I, a couple 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were on the phone and we were talking about hustling in a sense. And we came up with and wrote the script for a what I consider to be an amazing business venture. And we're going to start that thing. But we went from start to finish, how to publish it, how to get it out there, where to start, where to research. Because one thing about hustling is you can think about it all day, but until you get started, you have nothing. A worthwhile hustle. Number 2, it helps build discipline in your life. When you hustle, you learn discipline. It's not about working 24/7 all the time. It's about using your time wisely. A good hustle teaches you to manage your time and to prioritize and make every moment of your life count. That's what a worthwhile hustle does. It builds discipline in you. And I'll be totally honest with you on this one. You have to start with a concrete foundation. Why? Because when times get rough and you want to quit, and I wanted to quit this podcast, I'll be totally honest with you, a million times. But each week, I try to come back with new content. Each week, I try to reach people that are living life behind enemy lines. They can't count their victories. They're not winning. But I try to encourage. I keep going each and every week because discipline is what is driving this. But you've got to have a concrete foundation in order to start a good hustle. What does a concrete foundation actually look like? It puts you on steady ground. Number 1. Number 2, you've got to have a foundation already built in your heart. You've got to have the heart to start. Yeah, you've got to have the heart to start because you're going to fail. There will be some distractions. There will be some letdowns. There will be some disappointing moments. But when you start your hustle, when you tie it into what your purpose is, you become disciplined in wanting to do it. And that's helping you to build the foundation that you need in order to keep going. Another part of the foundation that you need is the spirit. People who won't get started anything, you can have a million ideas. That's one of my reasons why I love Master P. Because Master P is, I consider him an icon in our today's time. And when it comes to, I came out of nothing. Master P came from the projects in the Noya. He came out of the projects in New Orleans. And look where he is now. He didn't start where he is now, but he was disciplined in order to keep going. Item number three on why every man needs a worthwhile hustle. We have to build financial independence today. You can't depend on your 9 to 5 anymore. You can no longer depend on the loyalty of a company. Those years are gone when you can go to work somewhere and work 20, 30 years and get a retirement. Those days are gone. If you're not already making 2, 3, 400 grand a year, it's difficult to make ends meet, especially if you have a family, and particularly if you have children that you're raising. A worthwhile hustle is needed. I remember growing up, my dad had a hustle. He drove 18-wheelers, but I remember him sitting in the garage working on his hustle. He would work on radios, TVs from people in the neighborhood. And he had that on the weekends. And he had gotten the memo that I have 9 children, and there's no way this one job is going to be able to do that for me. But hustling helps you to build that financial independence that we all need in today's climate and in today's time. Reason number 4, men need a worthwhile hustling, because hustling builds confidence. Getting started builds confidence. I procrastinated starting Winning at Life Behind Enemy Lines podcast until one day I just sat down and put everything that I had within me into it. All the resources, all the money. And I said, I may not know how to do it, but by the time I come on with my first episode, I am going to start. I am going to build the confidence in order to do it. And if you go back and look at my very first episode, you'll see the growth in the podcast. There's something about confidence. There's something to say about empowering yourself, about making things happen on your own terms. A successful hustle gives you that confidence boost. You can look yourself in the mirror knowing that at least I started something, that you're working toward something greater in your life. You're not just paying bills with that one job that you have. A worthwhile hustle also, it has impact. Here's the impact of a worthwhile hustle. A worthwhile hustle can have a massive impact on your life, whether you're creating something new, whether you're helping others, whether you're working in the community, whether you're selling t-shirts, cakes, cookies, or pies. It doesn't matter. I go to a grocery store in my neighborhood, and every time I pull up, I see 2 or 3 men perusing the parking lot, waiting for people to park and go in and shop. And they have an arm full of windshield wipers. And they'll come to your car and ask you, do you need your windshield wipers changed? They're out there hustling. They're out there with a worthwhile hustle. And I can't help but revere those men, because rather than sit and do absolutely nothing, they know that that hustle helps them to become financially independent. They know that that hustle, that thing that they're out there doing, can change their lives. Yeah, hustling causes us to become problem solvers. Yeah, hustling forces you to become a problem solver in your life. When you're building something from the ground up, you're constantly finding and looking for ways to get over hurdles. I faced many of them. Didn't know how to do a thumbnail for my podcast. Didn't know how to upload content. Didn't know how to do any of that. Hurdles. Leaping over hurdles is what I had to do. But being a problem solver sharpens your mind, and it teaches you how to handle challenges, both in your hustling life and in your everyday life. It helps you to solve issues and problems. And who does not want to solve problems, their own individual ones? I know I do. I know that a good hustle gives us the flexibility and the freedom to live life on our terms. You don't have to do that 9 to 5, just that 9 to 5. Now, I'm not insinuating at all that anybody should go out and quit their job, but a 9 to 5 only, y'all, it's not going to get it. A hustle gives us options, and it gives, and for many men, it's worth more than just hustling. It's just worth more than just working yourself to the bone every day. It's about working that hustle and tying it into the purpose of your life. You get an opportunity. Number 8, why we need a worthwhile hustle. Because here's something I believe that we're lacking as men. We don't collaborate anymore like we used to. We don't network anymore like we used to. But a hustle opens up networks. It opens up network opportunities. You meet individuals in your hustle. Whenever you're trying to grow, I don't know anybody who has done anything all by themselves. Networking is one of the greatest things that you can do when you start a hustle, to build a network, to get in and take advantage of those networking opportunities. It's not what you know all the time. It's who you know that can help you get your hustle on. Reason number 9, why men need a worthwhile hustle. Because in this day and time, men should seek to leave a legacy. Yeah, a good hustler leaves a legacy. Whether it's the business you started, the hustle you started and maintained, whether it's any of those, whether it's having impact on your family, on yourself, in your purpose, in your community, hustling shapes your future. It helps to shape us. And that's something that every man should be proud of, to leave a legacy for their kids, to leave a legacy for their family, something for their kids to carry on. And y'all, last but not least, you hear me mention it all the time. Men need a worthwhile hustle because it is aligned with your purpose. Anything that you do well, you've got to put it through the test by going through the hustle. When you have a hustle, it gives you a reason to get up each and every day and push forward in life. You're not just existing. We're not just existing every day. You're working towards something meaningful. That sense of purpose, that's what helps to fuel the success in our lives, in the areas of our lives. So why hustle? Why seek a worthwhile hustle? So a worthwhile hustle, again, isn't just about grinding for grinding's sake. It's about doing something that aligns with our values, your values, and adds value to others. Whether you're starting a small business, again, launching a side gig, or mentoring others on how to hustle, connecting, collaborating. The goal is to create something honest, beneficial for yourself and your family, your community. That's what hustling is. Good hustling looks like staying consistent and learning from your mistakes, building yourself up, having the courage to make a choice to get started. It uplifts your community. It uplifts you as an individual. It helps to support others. It inspires the next generation. I wonder a lot what the next generation of young people are going to do. What life, what employment, what is life going to be for them if they don't learn a hustle, if they don't create out of the purpose as to why they're here in their life, what their life is going to look like. And I've talked about doing an episode of Winning at Life Behind Enemy Lines entitled Left Behind Enemy Lines. Have we left our young people behind? Are we inspiring them to be the best version of themselves? Are we inspiring them to do that? And I often wonder, what is that going to look like 20, 30 years on down the line? I tell you, men need a worthwhile hustle for a multitude of reasons. But if we never get started, if we never test our faith, then it's going to be difficult on down the line. Before we wrap up today, though, I'd like to share something with you. I recently moved and relocated to another city, and I hit the ground running. I started with a hustle. I started networking early, writing letters to people in the community that might be able to network with me because I want to serve the community. That's my purpose. That's why I'm here. That's why I created, and that's why I built Winning at Life behind enemy lines. But you know, if you don't have a hustle right now, if you don't have one, get into some quiet time. Sit down and think about what it is that you want to do in order to leave a legacy, in order to start a business, in order to take the first step. What is it that you want to do? What is it? What type of impact do you want to have? So, without further ado, again, if you enjoy Winning at Life Behind Enemy Lines podcast, don't forget to like and share. In the description of Winning at Life, in this particular episode, we give you an opportunity, and we would love to hear from you. Drop me a comment in the comments on the YouTube channel about your hustle, about what it is you want to do. And remember, guys, winning at life is all about taking action. It's about staying committed, and it's about hustling within your purpose. Keep pushing, keep moving forward. And don't forget, if we're going to win the battle, we've got to stay in the fight. Until the next episode, I'll see you next time. Peace.